Shawn had to have a little bit of a different music tone than yesterday's dramatic bum, bum, bum. And we got some shouting today, too, because our guest, CC Perkinson's having a hard time hearing me, which is kind of hard to believe because I'm always the loudest one in the room, Shawn.
Yeah, so now I got to be extra loud because I got to outdo Rich here.
You can't outdo me, Shawn. CC, how are you this evening? Thanks for joining us.
I'm so glad to be able to talk to you, too. So I love the new show. I love what you've been doing with it. I think it's just going to take off. So I'm happy to be on here. So thanks for asking.
Especially if we have guests like you, we'll definitely take off, right?
Thank you so much.
So we're here to talk about tomorrow. You have a race. You have a horse tomorrow going off, I think in race number 5, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Prince Ali at Turf Paradise, a 5-furlong sprint. So Prince Ali, you had mentioned on a YouTube video, is the prince of Perkinson Racing Stables.
Boy, is he ever. He really is. Not only is he beautiful, but he has done so well for me. And I was very fortunate to claim him from John Sadler, who's at Santa Anita. I claimed him for $3,200. Lightly raced, maybe 3 races under his belt. And he was owned by a group of 5. So I think they just kind of gave up on him early on. And so I brought him into my barn, where it's a boutique barn. It's small, a lot more attention to detail. And he's come back and he's won for me 3 times, 3 allowance races. So and then qualified himself for the end of the year 50,000 stake race, ran 5th, beaten by a length and a quarter. So I'm super proud of this horse, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I think he's got a great chance if he just keeps his mind about business, you know.
Mm-hmm. How's he been training?
Oh, he trains like a rock star. I would tell you, Rich, he's so big bodied. I mean, he looks like a quarter horse. He's very heavy. I tried to take some weight off of him. So he's a little late from the gates, which is why he needs more distance. But I'll tell you, once he gets rolling, oh my God, it's like a train coming down the tracks. It is ridiculous. And I've worked him myself, so I know how he travels. And he's not an easy ride by any means. And it takes a good, talented rider to really pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Now, you used to be a jockey. Tell us about your experiences on the horse for money as the pilot.
Well, you know, it's fantastic because I'm extremely competitive. And so racing with the boys was never a problem. I'm very tomboyish, and so I got along with the guys as well. And so we always had a great time out there and just really worked together as we were racing. So I always appreciated the colony in that regards. But racing itself I love reading the program and discovering just a little something different about that horse. So why he hasn't been winning, why he's not been hitting the board, and come up with something different and attack it that way. And I was like the long shot rider. People loved when I came out and they made money off me. It was super.
Is there any concern tomorrow with the distance? You said he does need some more distance, but
yes, and that's a great question, Shawn, because the distance is what I'm looking for. Because, like I said, he's slow to start, but once he gets rolling, by the time the 1,000 yards at Los Alamitos is up, he's already, just showing up. And so this little bit of extra distance will make a difference for him, assuming that the rider gets a good position, doesn't get in trouble, and keeps him up close. Which sounds like the perfect race, right?
Mm-hmm. That's how you always want it to be.
Are you the one picking the rider right now?
Yes, that's correct.
This horse? Yep.
Yes.
So did you pick Turf Paradise because that's where the horse broke its maiden and did so in commanding fashion? No. And you know what, Rich? And that's a great thought. But no, that's not correct. He actually does not like racing in the daytime. He is a nighttime horse. That's why he's done so well, just shown up like a rock star. I tried to race him in the daytime after winning 3 with him, and he tanked during the daytime at the same track that I was racing him at. He does not like change. He likes to status quo. So that's the only thing that's going to get in our way tomorrow is if he gets in his head and just can't focus. I took him to the track today. I had a pony rider with me. We went to the gates. I stood in the gates. We got, a feel for the track again and just trying to keep him on his toes. He feels really good and he's eating. So that's always a great sign. Mm-hmm. For sure. So tell us a little bit about Perkinson Racing Stables. I was on your website reading about it, and in some sense to me, it sounds like almost like a collaborative, like where people can, like if Shawn and I wanted to get a group of people together and put some money in and then have a horse, then would you pick that horse for them or train that horse for them? Or are you looking for people who already have horses? Tell us your business plan and kind of what you're looking for. Well, Rich, that would be like all the above. So whoever would want to come in, say like yourselves with a group,
you had a horse you liked, you've been looking for it, and you're waiting for it to get, in a claiming race, and we're able to get that horse, then we do that together. But what I'd like to do is find a horse that fits the track, fits your group, and fits the direction that you're going in, and then look for that horse to claim or to buy privately, which I've done as well. And so I like to have variety in the horse's talent and where it can run, just in case Los Alamitos doesn't fit for him. It's the distance doesn't fit, et cetera, et cetera. But, a lot of times people just want to go out and have fun, which is why Los Alamitos is a great track for that, because you can come out, it's not a lot, it doesn't cost you a lot to get a horse, doesn't cost you a lot to train a horse, and you can go out and just have fun and get in the win picture when you can.
What's your biggest, most accomplished thing you've done in horse racing that you're most proud of?
Well, Shawn, and I would have to say, well, becoming a female jockey in a man's world, that was a tough one. That was you had to have a thick skin, hit the ground running, dig in deep, and find the right trainers. I wasn't able to get an agent, so I handled my own book. So I was able to ride over 1,000 races. I did very well. My win percent was fantastic. And then as a trainer, I would say finding the right horses to claim with me looking for them to fit the conditions that I need at the track, and bringing them up from a low end claiming and bringing them up into allowance levels and winning. So I've had success on both ends just by being strategic.
So you were a trainer before. You took some time off. You did some analysis at TVG. Saw some video of that where you were giving the gentleman. Saw you arm wrestling Todd Schrupp.
Todd Schrupp, sure.
Did he really take it seriously?
He did. And I didn't realize he was that scared of me. So I was like, wow, Todd, I didn't see that coming. But okay, bro, if you need to win this, I don't know who you got to prove this to, but all right, it's yours.
Maybe that was after he got his rear end kicked by the king, Randy Lawler. He didn't want 2 ass whoopings in one lifetime, right?
Right. But working for TVG was great. I had a great time on the set there. It's right there at Los Alamitos, and was able to do color there. And we had a really good time with Les Onaka, Dave Weaver. It was just a lot of fun.
I bet it was a lot of fun for sure. So in terms of post TVG, you were in some movies. Anyone that we should go out and rent and say, hey, look, here's CC?
Well, no.
No.
I will say I went to Bulgaria for 3 weeks, filmed a film there, flew in privately. That was fantastic. I've been to Amsterdam, been to New Mexico on a cruise ship. So I did Fear Factor. That's a great one. You can watch that one. So, you were
a contestant on Fear Factor?
Absolutely. Again,
Did
going
you
back
have
to
to
being
eat worms? Like, what was the nastiest thing you had to do?
I had to get in 3,000 gallons of cow blood in a plexiglass container, and I had to dive down and collect cow hearts and grab them with my mouth and then throw them over the outside into a container.
I would think, though, being around animals and the horse stuff, that probably wasn't like, most people would probably be like, but someone who's been around animals, that probably wasn't as bad as it might have been, as you had to like eat worms or something.
I've taken bigger bites out of other hearts before, so that was nothing much.
Lot of broken-hearted men running around, huh? So now you're in Turf Paradise now, right? So
correct.
You're there. We were joking a little bit before the show. So you're at Turf Paradise. So the trainer's at the track, folks. And Shawn, what's that mean?
The trainer's at the track?
Uh-huh. When they make the trip, that means there's something. They think the horse is going to win, Shawn.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course she's going to. Yeah, she already said they're going to win.
Yes, otherwise that's a very long drive just to look at scenery.
And then you said you had brought your breast attire, but not the red dress. So what are you going to be in?
I have a definitely unique style. I'm not a jeans and cowboy boots kind of girl. I'm more like red leggings and sports tops and high-end sneakers and baseball caps. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely a different vibe than what most people wear, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, you have
nothing wrong with being different. I'm good with that.
No, you just got to be you. That's the way I feel too. I'm me, right? That's it. I am who I am, and that's what I am. And if you don't like it, what can I do for you?
Come on, that wasn't a book, was it? That wasn't like green eggs and ham or something, was it?
No, I make up my own stuff. I don't need anybody to help me with anything.
Because it's inaccurate.
It's all Rich Original.
The Rich Originals. Hey, maybe that's what I should make my name now. Rich Originals. I haven't gotten a name yet. So folks want to keep up with you, CC, and the things that you're doing. You have a your Twitter feed, kind of spicy at times, but tell us about where people can follow you.
Well, of course, there's always Facebook. And like you said as well, Rich, there's the Twitter feed at CC Perkinson. And I have my website, which is PerkinsonRacingStables.com, that you can go in and look. You can contact me. It's a direct email to me. If you have questions, if you want hats or swag, things like that, just reach out to me. Not a problem.
Absolutely. If you are interested in putting a horse together, getting swag, or just saying hi when you're out at Los Alamitos, or tomorrow, Turf Paradise, like where's Waldo? Where's CC? Look for CC tomorrow. Hopefully
That's correct.
We'll see you there. CC, thanks for joining us. We look
Absolutely.
forward to keeping up with Prince Ali tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have you back after he wins.
Fingers crossed, boys. Fingers crossed.
Indeed. Thank you.
Good
Have
luck.
a wonderful
Thank
evening.
you.
I'll see you guys for drinks soon.
Indeed. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was fun, Shawn. No?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that horse is 10-1 morning line, so it will be a good price if it comes in too.
Indeed. Well, I can't believe you don't know the old
No,
wives' tale about
most
trainers
trainers
showing up at the track. Okay, she's from Los Alamitos, so she's up from that. What is that? Like Central Valley of California. I'm not familiar with the California terrain, so she's coming from California all the way down to Turf Paradise. The trainers at the track in their best garb. That means they think the horse is going to win, and you call yourself a horse player? Come on.
But most trainers think they're going to win, so I don't really go by that. Most bettors think they're going to win. I think I'm going to win too. I think I'm going to win every race too till the end of the race. And then,
speaking of winning, I won last night. I gave everybody Georgia. I hope you all took it. I got it at plus 110, which was pretty nice because DraftKings had a nice little bonus there. All right, let's get off to the horse racing news of the day, Shawn. It looks to me like this Bob Baffert thing with Churchill Downs is starting to get a little bit personal. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's just the story that won't go away. And I mean, really, they got to figure it out because we're getting closer and closer to the Kentucky Derby, and
he's got
a lot of horses.
Well, he's got the horse right now from 2-year-olds anyway. A lot of times that 2-year-old form, C8 ring, C Dennis's moment doesn't carry, but at the moment, Corniche is probably the one to beat. No.
Yeah, he is. And the crazy thing too is you have all these future polls, and people are putting money on him too. We'll see. You don't get your money back if the horse doesn't run. So we'll see. And then will it run?
It's going to run. It's just a question of it's just a question of who's going to be the trainer. There's no way if I own a horse like that, Bob's not going to train the horse. That's it. At least not during a Kentucky Derby run. When it's over, he'll be back because the owners of the horse and Baffert are good friends.
I think I can speak for every horse player. At this point, we just want a resolution. Figure it out one way or the other, and let's move on and start clean.
I'm interested in the drama because, like I said, it's starting to get personal. If you look at the lawyer, he said this is a threatened lawsuit from Baffert to Churchill Downs to get the okay or injunction against Churchill Downs so they can't prevent him from running at Churchill tracks and qualifying for this year's Derby. But the lawyer says this threatened lawsuit is yet another tactic from Mr. Baffert's well-worn playbook of obfuscating the facts, inventing excuses to explain positive drug tests, and attempting to blame others to avoid responsibility for his own actions. I mean, that's about as personal as you can get, right?
Yeah. I
mean, that's not lawyerly. That's not like he broke Section 202. No, he's watching.
The gloves are off.
Yes, indeed. I was thinking maybe he watched the show, and I was reading an article. I was looking for him to use the dog ate the homework excuses, but he didn't do it. So lawyer for this Mr. Kazakhstan, whatever your name is, I apologize if I just butchered it, but use the dog ate the homework excuses. That's a little bit better. Unfortunately, Shawn, Irad Ortiz thought he just banged up his knee, but instead he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks because he has, according to Horse Racing Nation, he has a fracture in his knee, which means he's going to miss the Pegasus. And we'll have a little bit more about that in a minute.
Yeah, and he just came back from being a month suspension from aggressive riding. So he rode for 2 days, day and a half, really, and right back out for another 3 to 4 weeks. Very unfortunate.
Which was, you talk about that aggressive riding. Terry and I were doing a live show that day when he was participating in that aggressive riding. And I mentioned while we were watching it live, he came down on a horse. The first time I said, okay, maybe the horse just decided it wanted to go in. The second time I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's so accidental, because first time, okay. Second time, it's a habit. So I think unquestionably he was riding a little bit of aggressively that day, and maybe a little rusty.
Yeah, could be. You know, I never really paid attention to it or saw it, but now that people point out how aggressive he is, you can really see it, like you said. But the guys that win usually do all have those little tricks and a little aggressiveness, you know.
Well, you have to be aggressive, Shawn. If you think you and I are sports fans, at least betting on sports fans, maybe not so much sports fans, but I know from growing up wrestling, playing football, baseball, being a participant in sports, combat sports afterwards, that usually the more aggressive person or team wins. Right. So it doesn't surprise me that you got aggressive jockeys out there.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more highlighted because of how dangerous the sport is in horse racing. So, you know,
indeed,
people take it personal.
So speaking of Irad being out and missing the Pegasus, some of those Pegasus invitations went out, and Irad is typically the rider on Life is Good and on Colonel Liam, 2 horses that have gotten invitations to both the Pegasus Invitational and the Pegasus Turf Invitational. So Irad might be leaving a little bit of money on the table there.
A ton of money. And I mean, if we could get those 3 horses in that race, what a race that's going to be. Knicks Go, Life is Good, and Flightline. Hopefully
there's others in there too. Like you have Concert Tour. Mandaloon was invited in there. So that's a pretty good horse as well.
Hopefully most of these, you know, actually show up for this race. I mean, usually these come out and you see how great the potential can be, and then sometimes it falls apart. Hopefully this one lives up to the bill.
It looks like Pletcher, who I think trains Life is Good, said that they're targeting ever since the Breeders' Cup this race. So the question is, does Frontline and Knicks Go show up? And if they do, I mean, who do you think would win that race between Knicks Go, Life is Good, and Flightline?
Wow. I'd have to see everybody in it and see the pace scenario. You know, I like the pace scenario, but I mean, wow. And Flightline, that'd be the test. I mean, that's what a lot of people are looking forward to this year, to see how good Flightline is. Unfortunately, you know, he's 4 years old now, so he won't be in the Kentucky Derby or in any of the prime time races that everybody covers. So the real horse racing fans just want to see how well he does with the races he gets, and hopes to see him, you know, 4 or 5 times this year.
Well, the thing, I remember what Robertino told us when Knicks Go was running against the Central Quality and those others in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I'm taking the older horse.
Yeah.
Right. So they just turned 4, right? They just turned 5. So it's sort of like 3-year-olds versus 4-year-olds still. It's the very, very early stages of that new year for all of these horses, regardless of when they're born. All right, Shawn, that wraps up day 2's news for the Horse Center. Shawn didn't like the fact that I didn't make Horse Center one word. He was letting me have it last night after the show.
No, we were just on different pages. I thought it might be 2 words.
No, you were on a different page.
Yeah.
I'm the one making the things. How can I be on a different page?
Yeah, I'm on a different page. It's okay, though.
So tomorrow we have another guest. Shawn and I will be doing the Horse Center Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at this time. Tomorrow, who's our guest tomorrow, Shawn?
Turf Paradise announcer Craig Praddock. Hopefully I pronounced that last name right. Usually Rich is the pronouncer, but
I'm the official show pronouncer, so I give you the stamp of approval on that. And then on Thursday night at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, our guest for the Players Edge podcast will be Chantel Sutherland. We'll be working on a question and answer for her. If there's a question you want her to answer that you would like for us to include in the question and answer, please email it to me at gtsrichb@gmail.com or post it on Facebook and Twitter. You can see down below our Twitter handle and our Facebook handle are both the same. Horse Race, the number 2 day. So Horse Race 2 day. So if you got questions for Chantel, you want us to ask her, send them on. If you got questions you want her to answer on the show, join us on Thursday by subscribing on our YouTube channel at Racing Radar TV. Shawn, any final thoughts before we get up and out of here?
No, we'll be back tomorrow. I think this is a great show, and the guests, you know, again, people are great, and they want to come on the show, and we get to know them more. All these people have been great. So if you ever want to get more into the game, you know, reach out to these people, ask them, or just watch the show, and we'll ask the questions, and you can get to know them.
Yeah, if there's anybody you want to see us try to get on, let us know. I mean, this is a community show. We're here to, to bring, it's all of us. So whoever you want us to bring on, let us know. If there's any questions you have, let us know. It's open. We're not when you look at the Facebook page, it says very responsive. That's very accurate, Shawn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Some people would say I don't put my phone down, so I'll get right back to you.
Some people might say I never pick mine up. I'm an old man, so I'm not into that technology stuff. All right, Shawn, we'll be back tomorrow. Terry and I will be back tomorrow. I'm looking to rebound. I had a tough day at Turf Paradise, so hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit better at Gulfstream Park. Terry had a nice day today at Turf Paradise, so that's a positive. If one's
you guys were you guys got thrown a little curveball since you guys studied parks. I warned you about that. It's like 15 degrees outside right now.
That's cold for you guys? You guys are soft.
What's great?
Man.
What's crazy? And what's crazy, and this will upset you a little bit. Parks canceled, but Penn National ran. So, I mean, it's about the same temperature. So,
the Keystone State, that's the linchpin, but you guys are soft. Jersey's better than you guys now, man.
They knew what the temperature was going to be, and they waited till a half hour before post time to cancel. Yeah, that's always frustrating.
Yeah, that's terrible because I had done a whole lot of homework. I was ready to go, and I really wasn't as prepared for Turf Paradise today, but I will be prepared for Gulfstream Park tomorrow. So catch that tomorrow at probably 12:30 Eastern. We'll get cracking. Terry and I will go through the entire card at Gulfstream Park, along with our hot dog pick fours, our prime rib pick four, our box it up picks, as well as Terry's best bet of the day. CC was certainly a lot of fun. I look forward to having her on the show again, and maybe if we're out in California catching a drink with her.
Absolutely.
All right, Shawn, see you tomorrow on 23-3. And tonight, by the way, in the NBA, I like the under in the LA Clippers Denver Nuggets game. Who do you like, Shawn?
I got nobody tonight.
Yeah, of course.
I'm staying away. The problem with the Clippers and Nuggets too is they just, they're
you don't got nothing, so just leave it there. Right.
Hey, I agreed with you at Georgia.
You didn't agree with me. You didn't play it. That's not agreement. All right, Shawn. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tell your friends about us. Subscribe at YouTube. Help us get to 1,000. We look forward to it. Have a fantastic night. See you tomorrow, Shawn.
See you tomorrow.